Let's return to that breaking news. An inquest into the death of the drag star, the Vivienne, has recorded a verdict of death by misadventure. The inquest at Cheshire Coroner's Court heard that James Lee Williams took ketamine but didn't intend to take a fatal dose. Our correspondent Shingi Mararike is at the court for us. Shingi.
Yeah, that's right. That conclusion coming in the last hour or so, the coroner finding that James Lee Williams, the drag queen and performer known as the Vivienne, took ketamine but did not intend to end their own life. That was a death by misadventure. In more simple terms, a accidental drug overdose. And they went into further detail looking at toxicology reports that showed that there were traces of ketamine in their blood that were consistent with excessive use of ketamine at some time prior to death. And the coroner highlighted that when the Vivienne was discovered at their property in Cheshire, that it was 2 days after their last contact with people, suggesting that the death had come on the Friday. The Vivienne was discovered on the Sunday, and there were still high levels of ketamine in their blood. So that meant that the use of ketamine on that Friday would have been a near fatal dose, if not a fatal dose. And that Class B drug, which is an anesthetic which causes people to feel dreamlike and detached, featured over so much of this inquest. In fact, we heard about the Vivienne's backstory. For those who don't know, the Vivienne won the first UK series of RuPaul's Drag Race, and in that program the Vivienne discussed sobriety and battles with ketamine use, and that they had been sober for a period. But we heard from one of the key witnesses, a friend of the Vivienne, their best friend over the course of 16 years, Bobby Musker, who said that at some point the Vivienne had begun using ketamine again, and that they had had a conversation on the Friday before the Vivienne's body was discovered, and it was clear that the Vivienne had taken ketamine then, but wasn't presenting in a strange way, was talking to them as normal, but that Bobby Musker had a hunch that he had taken ketamine. So that featured here. But the last word goes to the Vivienne's family, who were here and mentioned that they wanted to be much more about their legacy as a performer, as a winner of Drag Race, as someone who brought happiness and joy to others. In a statement that they gave to the coroner, his sister, Chanel Williams, said, "We acknowledge it as a result of drug use. What we wholeheartedly know, it was in no way his intent. He loved his life, he loved his family, and he loved his career."
Shingi, thank you very much.